Boone Whitmore clutched the deed in his weathered hands, staring at the farmhouse that was supposed to be empty. 3 women stood on the porch, their imposing figures casting long shadows across the weathered planks. The tallest stepped forward, her muscular frame evident even beneath her worn dress. Her smile was sharp, her blue eyes cold. "You must be the new owner," she said, her voice carrying the weight of someone used to command. Something in her tone made the hair on Boone's neck prickle. Flanking her were 2 others, equally tall and formidable, their gazes predatory. Boone had traveled 3 days through rough terrain to reach this remote property, his life savings sunk into what the seller promised was fertile land, perfect for cattle ranching. The isolation had been the appeal, a fresh start, far from town life's complications. Now, facing these strangers on his land, that isolation felt like a trap. "Ladies, there's been a mistake," Boone said, keeping his voice steady despite the unease curling in his gut. "This is my property. I have the deed." He held up the document, its official seal crisp and new. The tall woman's smile widened, revealing teeth that seemed too sharp. "Oh, we know who you are, Boone Whitmore. We've been expecting you." The way she said his name sent a chill through him. How did she know? The seller had assured him the transaction was private. "We've been living here for years," the second woman said, her voice deep and deliberate. "Taking care of the land, keeping it warm." The word carried an unsettling weight. The third, a redhead with freckles dotting her powerful shoulders, let out a low laugh. "The previous owner made arrangements with us. Arrangements that don't vanish with a piece of paper." Boone's chest tightened under their intense stares. These weren't squatters or confused neighbors. Their presence was deliberate, calculated. The seller, Marcus Vance, had been eager to close the deal, too eager. Had Boone walked into a setup? "What arrangements?" he asked, dreading the answer. The tall woman's eyes glinted. "The kind that involve you staying here with us. Permanently." She paused, then delivered the blow. "You're going to be with us, Boone. All 3 of us. That's how this works." The words hit like a fist, not from desire, but from the audacity and threat they carried. This wasn't seduction, it was something darker. His hand twitched toward the rifle on his horse, but he froze as the implication sank in. What had he stumbled into? And why did the deed suddenly feel worthless? Boone dismounted slowly, keeping his movements calm but his eyes on the leader. "I don't know what game this is, but I paid good money for this land. I'm not leaving." The tall woman chuckled, a sound devoid of warmth. "This isn't a game, Boone. It's business. The man who sold you this place owed us a debt that doesn't vanish because he took your money and ran." The redhead stepped forward, her boots heavy on the porch. Marcus Vance made promises, partnership, in every sense. When he couldn't deliver, he swore the next owner would honor them. "That's you." Panic stabbed at Boone. Marcus Vance. The seller's name. The details were too specific to be lies. "No one can make promises for someone else, especially not that," he said, his voice firm but wavering. The second woman, broad-shouldered with dark hair, laughed. "Out here, far from law or help, rules don't apply. We make our own arrangements." Boone's skin crawled. This wasn't about money or property disputes, it was something deeper, more dangerous. "The deed is legal," he insisted. "Filed, witnessed, sealed. Marcus's promises don't bind me." The leader's smile faded, her expression turning cold. "Legal means nothing 3 days from a sheriff." "Besides," she nodded to the redhead, who produced a folded paper, "we have our own paperwork." Boone's heart sank as he glimpsed what looked like an official document. Had Marcus sold him into a trap? The redhead held it up, signatures and a notary seal visible. "Marcus signed contracts," she said. "Obligations that transfer to the new owner." "Show me," Boone demanded, stepping closer. The paper was thick, official, with Marcus's signature clear. The terms outlined a partnership, farming, profit sharing, and a vague clause about mutual support and companionship. It was legally binding but ambiguous enough to be dangerous. "You're bluffing," Boone said, though doubt crept in. "No court would enforce this." The dark-haired woman, Ruth, stepped off the porch, moving with quiet menace. "Who said anything about courts? We handle our own justice." "I'm Helena," the leader said, her tone almost conversational. "This is Ruth and Magdalene." The redhead gave a small, threatening wave. "We've been waiting for you, Boone. Marcus described you perfectly." The casual use of his name unnerved him. What else had Marcus told them? "He had no right," Boone said. "I bought this in good faith." Helena's expression softened, revealing a flicker of vulnerability. "Good faith," she repeated. "Marcus wasn't big on that. He used us, then ran with your money." Ruth circled closer, her eyes gentle but intense. "Marcus promised partnership, business, life, everything. 3 months later, he was gone, leaving us to hold the pieces." Magdalene's voice carried hurt. "He took our work, our trust, our affections, then sold the land we improved." The puzzle clarified, though it didn't ease Boone's fear. These women had been betrayed, and now saw him as either salvation or revenge. "So you're claiming the land and me?" he asked. Helena moved closer, her lavender scent disarming. "We have a claim to what we built, what Marcus promised." "You're not him, Boone. You're substantial." Boone's pulse quickened, not just from fear. There was something in Helena's gaze, Ruth's quiet strength, Magdalene's fierce independence, a pull he couldn't ignore. "If this contract is real, I didn't sign it," he said. Helena nodded. "Legally, maybe not. But morally? We've poured everything into this land. We have nowhere else." Ruth's voice was soft but firm. "We're not asking you to fulfill Marcus's promises exactly. We're asking you to consider building something better, together." Boone studied them, seeing past the intimidation to their loneliness. "What are you proposing?" he asked, feeling the weight of the question. Helena's eyes met his. "A real partnership. Work the land, share profits, and share our lives, if it feels right." The air thickened with possibility. Boone's rational mind screamed warnings, but his heart felt drawn to these women. "The physical part," he said, voice rough. "What does that mean?" Helena's smile was genuine now. "Whatever feels natural. No pressure, just freedom to explore what grows between us." Ruth nodded. "We found comfort in each other after Marcus. It became more. We want that with you, if you're willing." Magdalene's green eyes locked on his. "We know it's unconventional. Out here, we make our own rules, our own family." Boone's defenses wavered. He'd come for solitude, but they offered connection, intimacy beyond his imagining. "I need to see what you've built," he said, grounding himself in practicality. Helena's relief was palpable. "Ruth, show him the irrigation system." Ruth led him to fields where precise channels directed spring water to thriving crops. "This is our work," she said, pride evident. "Marcus took credit, but we built it." Magdalene showed him the livestock, healthy cattle, productive chickens, and trade routes yielding profit. "We've made this sustainable," she said, her business savvy clear. Inside the farmhouse, Boone found a warm, well-crafted home. For bedrooms hinted at their hopes. "We're not asking for an answer today," Ruth said. "Take your time." But Boone's decision was forming. The attraction wasn't just physical, it was their strength, their shared vision. "What's next?" he asked, knowing it was an answer. That evening, over a shared meal, Helena revealed another layer. "Marcus left debts in our name, supplies, equipment. Traders expect payment soon, or we lose everything. Boone studied the ledger, the numbers daunting but manageable. I have capital, he said. Enough to settle this and expand, but I have conditions, legal partnership papers, clear responsibilities, and personal relationships that develop naturally. Helena's tears broke through her strength. That's all we wanted, a real partner. 3 months later, Boone stood in the farmyard, the operation thriving. New livestock, improved irrigation, and expanded trade had made it profitable. Helena's leadership, Ruth's innovation, and Magdalene's passion had blended with his financial sense, creating something extraordinary. Their personal bonds had deepened slowly, built on respect. Helena became his confidant, their affection growing naturally. Ruth's quiet wisdom fostered a connection that felt effortless. Magdalene's cautious heart opened with a spontaneous kiss one morning, sealing their bond. Challenges remained, navigating jealousy, making collective decisions, but the rewards were greater. Legal papers protected their partnership, debts were settled, and the farmhouse expanded. They'd built a family, defying convention. On the porch one evening, Helena asked, "Any regrets?" Boone smiled at the women who changed his life. "Only that it took Marcus's betrayal to find you." Their laughter filled the air, a testament to a love and partnership that thrived against all odds.